It's the start of a new month, and we appreciate, as always, the support of the African Energy Chamber for this program. Welcome, everyone, to Energy Frontiers. I am Justina Okechukwu. Let's get started with some energy news headlines from here on the continent and around the world. This week's military coup on Gabon has set the global oil industry thinking about the likely impact of the soldiers' mutiny on the Central African country's petroleum sector. On Thursday, the executive chairman of the African Energy Chamber, NJ Ayuk, stated in his tweet that at a time such as this, there needs to be assurance from all sides that Gabon's oil and gas activities will not be impacted. The country needs its hydrocarbons to function, grow and thrive. Any disruptions to oil and gas activities will result in significant challenges for the country, its citizens, and its development. Ayuk added that the African Energy Chamber strongly calls for a collective approach to protecting these assets and ensuring stability and security across this industry. In the meantime, oil and gas producers like French independent Perenco and Morel and Prompt, including Asala Energy, Total Energies, and Tullow Oil, who have operations in the Central African country, have confirmed that oil production activities were not affected by the military coup in Gabon, which is an OPEC member state. In the oil market, prices were set to snap a two-week losing streak as they rose for a fourth consecutive session on Friday due to tightening supplies and expectations that the OPEC Plus group of oil producers could extend output cuts to the end of the year. Meanwhile, Hurricane Idalia is expected to have a limited impact on oil prices as it is forecast to stay away from major oil production and refining facilities in the Gulf of Mexico. On Wednesday, the White House Press Secretary, Karen Jean-Pierre, and Homeland Security Advisor, Elizabeth Sherwood Randall, addressed reporters at a briefing ahead of President Joe Biden's visit to Florida on Saturday. Take a listen.
The administration will stand with the impacted communities every step of the way, as we have for the past 2 years, and as long as it takes.
As the president just announced when he was over at FEMA, he will fly to Florida on Saturday to visit the areas most impacted by the hurricane. They are very collegial when we have the work to do together of helping Americans in need, citizens of Florida in need. That the greatest concern right now is flooding and the impact on people's homes and businesses of that flooding.
In other energy news, SDX Energy, a Middle East and North Africa-focused oil and gas company listed on the London Stock Exchange, has signed a non-binding heads of terms agreement to sell oil and gas assets in Egypt to an unnamed large multinational operator as SDX focuses on monetizing its Moroccan operations. The transaction is expected to be completed by the end of the next quarter. Tanzania's President Samia Suluhu Hassan on Wednesday announced the appointment of former Minerals Minister Doto Biteko as the new Energy Minister in what seems like a surprise cabinet reshuffle. Biteko will now take over from January Makamba, who is now the Minister for Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation. Predator Oil and Gas Holdings plc says its proposed rigless testing program for its MOU-1 well has been presented to the National Office of Hydrocarbons and Mines of Morocco and is scheduled to be executed and completed this September. Angola-based Azule Energy has signed a production sharing agreement with the country's National Agency of Petroleum, Gas and Biofuels and Norway's energy company Equinor for offshore Block 3121. A new report by market intelligence company Brita Bridges shows that cleantech startups in Africa attracted investments worth $530 million in the first half of 2023, out of which solar accounted for more than 90% of the total investment. The research shows that cleantech startups saw a sharp increase in funding volumes from $45 million in the first half of 2021 hitting $450 million in 2022 and the highest figure of $530 million in the first 6 months of the year. World leaders are set to gather in Nairobi next week from the 4th to 8th for the inaugural African Climate Action Summit and the United Nations Africa Climate Week. The conference will examine regional contributions to climate action and explore ways to reduce greenhouse gas emissions while adapting to the increasing fallout from ongoing climate crisis. Meanwhile, the African Development Bank Group and the International Energy Agency will launch the Financing Clean Energy in Africa report at the Africa Climate Summit in Nairobi. And that was a snapshot of your energy news headlines. And when we return, we spotlight for you the biggest upcoming energy market event on Africa's calendar in 2023. More on this in a moment. This is Energy Frontiers. Now, global energy leaders, policymakers, investors, and executives from across the public and private sector are lining up for the highly anticipated African Energy Week 2023 summit due on October 16 to 20 in Cape Town, South Africa. Put together by the African Energy Chamber, the 4-day event will focus on African energy renaissance and the urgent need to prioritize energy poverty, people, the planet, industrialization, and the free markets. Here is my exclusive interview chat with Tomas Gerbasio, International Conference Director at the African Energy Chamber, as he walks us through what to expect from this year's conference.
The event is set to take place from October 16th to 20th at the CTICC in Cape Town. We have upgraded our venue to host more people, to provide a more immersive, a more high-level networking experience, program experience as well. We'll have multiple stages for discussion of several energy topics ranging from oil and gas, upstream, midstream, and downstream, but also renewable energies such as hydrogen, solar, also nuclear energy and coal, which are very important for the development of the African continent. So we are very close to it. We encourage everyone to join and acquire the latest, the last tickets that are available. As many governments, companies are already supporting the event. We will talk about this in a bit. But the event is set to happen very soon from now, and we have through this upgrade, we have acquired as well a large exhibition space that will also be an amazing feature for the delegates to come. As you know, Cape Town in October is a very beautiful city to be in, and we hope everyone can join us at this event.
Right. So tell me about the key speakers on the lineup. I know you have a very robust lineup there, and the outlook for the summit.
Absolutely. So this year, we have to mention that this is our third year in a row. We have quickly become the largest energy deal-making platform in the African continent. Naturally, the key lineups would have to be President Macky Sall and President from Namibia, President Hengov, that will come and participate in the event, giving opening keynote speeches. President Macky Sall also receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award. But besides this high-level participant that bring so much prestige, and we're so thankful for their participation, we also have a host of over 20 ministerial delegations coming from all Africa. Key participants are recently appointed as well. Ministers Lokpoviri and Minister Ekpo, Minister for State of Oil and Gas of Nigeria, that have been recently appointed. Former Minister Ibeka Chikwu also be participating in the event. Another key lineup would be Alex Epstein, an American researcher that's a strong advocate for fossil fuels as an element for human development. And we feel that this message strongly resonates with the Chamber's goal of eliminating energy poverty by 2030 and promoting clean cooking. All the discussions throughout the event will be revolving around this. So naturally, issues like natural gas and the promotion of natural gas will take a center stage, as many of the key areas that we will cover, such as Namibia, South Africa, Angola, Senegal, Mauritania, Algeria, Mozambique, bring key energy projects in the gas sphere that can radicalize the energy security structure in the globe, but also industrialize African nations. Participation such as the Secretary Generals of the Gas Exporting Countries Forum will solidify this approach on natural gas. But like I mentioned as well, we will cover multiple sectors. We'll have key delegations from Saudi Arabia and Russia, for instance, that will definitely take a look as well at issues as oil and gas, global oil and gas markets, coordination, the promotion of clean cooking, the promotion of nuclear energy as well, and coal developments. So we're lining up to have a very, very interesting event, but not just on the program and content side. We also try to bring in a more an informal networking experience, as we feel as well that the energy and the events industry is changing. There's a big generational change that we want to reflect. And thus we're also hosting, for instance, the Just Energy Transition concert at the beginning of the event with key Amapiano and Afrobeat artists such as Buja, Chike, DJ Dollar, Spyro, that will come and provide a more informal, ice-breaking opening of the event. So it's lining up to be one for the books.
That was quite. I'm already testing for that event in October. So, speak to me about supporting institutions. I know that you have big ticket sponsors. What value are they bringing to the Cape Town event?
Absolutely. So our official partners for the past couple of years have been Afreximbank and the African Petroleum Producer Organization. This helps solidify two things. One, a concrete mandate to cover financial issues throughout as a transversal issue to the energy sector. You and I both know that financing energy projects has been one of the main chokeholds for the development of the energy industry. And thus we wish to provide a platform that actively seeks solutions in the financial sphere, actively promotes deal making. Last year, it was $2.5 billion signed in deals during AEW. We are aiming to surpass this year with key announcements to be made. But this key partners that you mentioned that will join us, major names such as Cosmos Energy, ExxonMobil, Chevron, the Angolan National Petroleum and Gas Agency, key institutions such as Rystad Energy, S&P Global, Frost & Sullivan, that will help us tailor as well. They help us curate the program to have the most updated topics online for us, the most relevant to promote the most relevant discussions for the energy industry. Major national oil companies such as Sonangol, PetroSA, Petrosen, Namcor, Gepetrol from Equatorial Guinea will come and continue to promote discussions among themselves of how to improve the role of national oil companies throughout the energy sector. How can these national oil companies can transform themselves into energy companies? How they have more responsibilities throughout their own national oil sectors and their own national energy sectors. But also key partnerships such as CNBC Africa for our media promotion. Also, what you guys as well, Frontier Africa Reports, naturally are key partners in the promotion of the event. But also working with international renowned institutions such as the World LPG Association, the World Nuclear Association, the World Coal Association, the Nigerian Explorationist Association. All help us to build a strong and reliant program and key partnerships that can solidify these discussions on several energy issues as we move forward.
So how effective is the OPEC Africa Roundtable, and how will it be effective in driving talks around stabilizing the oil markets, especially in the face of rising fuel prices?
Absolutely. This is a great question. We both know there is a lot of instability and uncertainty, perhaps, in the global energy markets. Even in Africa itself, there's some political events that are creating certain uncertainty on the energy sectors and for investors as well. So our series of roundtable events that we'll host, one of them being the OPEC Africa Roundtable, it's a staple already given our partnership as well with OPEC. We believe that this generates another platform. This is the Chamber's initiative to create a follow-up platform as well to OPEC discussions. We just came from the Vienna International Seminar that OPEC organizes every couple of years, and we wish to have a follow-up discussion here in Africa. Where we can, where African members and non-member countries as well, we invite as well key institutions and other key African markets, African producers. Institutions such as Apple will be participating. The president from OPEC, the Minister Oburu from Equatorial Guinea, will also join us and lead those discussions. We have the president from Apple, which is currently the minister Minister Seido from Benin. But other main ministers from Algeria, Egypt, South Sudan, Angola, Equatorial Guinea, Congo, Brazzaville, all key participants that will help drive these discussions towards a more stable energy structure, energy architecture in the world that can solidify as well Africa's development. So we believe that this sort of roundtables generate a much needed continuous dialogue, a much needed follow-up intervention. So things do not just remain in paper on 1 year discussion, but this follow-ups, these checkups every year to see what we discussed last year, where we are this year, are very important for us to show accountability and to show actual development from these key institutions in how to solve problems for Africans and problems for the world.
Imagine a future where tomorrow's solutions build a world of opportunities for all, and where human potential is truly realized, where every child has an equal chance in life, no matter where they were born. Imagine the potential of a continent built on low-carbon oil and natural gas and abundant renewable energy. Imagine Mozambique, Angola, Nigeria, Uganda, Senegal, Egypt, Namibia, and Algeria being let free to develop their natural resources without pressure from wealthy countries to leave it in the ground. Imagine an Africa where we cut red tape bureaucracy and provide better fiscal terms so we can compete globally for energy investments. African Energy Week is the African Energy Chamber's annual event held at the Cape Town waterfront, uniting African energy leaders, global investors, and executives from across the public and private sector for 4 days of intense dialogue on the future of the African energy industry. Showcasing the latest technologies and innovations to 5,000 plus registered delegates from over 100 countries and international professionals from across the global energy sector. Be part of the future of the energy industry and join the energy movement by becoming an official sponsor, exhibitor, delegate, or partner. African Energy Week.
And that's how we wrap up the show for you this week. Thank you everyone for watching. And remember to follow the program on Frontier Africa Reports website, subscribe to our YouTube, and follow us across all our social media handles as indicated on the screen. I am Justina Okechukwu. Bye-bye.